unsavory, again, issues and treatments, behaviors towards their partners. This morning, we want to create awareness on spousal abuse, and we want to give people the opportunity to know where to go if they find themselves in this situation. At the table, I've been joined by Professor Daniel Bruce, who is a clinical psychologist. Prof, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you know what?
What's the psychology behind abuse? Why are people abusive? Or how do people become abusive?
Thank you. We have personal characteristics of men who abuse women, and we also have personal characteristics of women who allow men to abuse them. So that's the psychology behind it.
People allow it.
Yeah, women allow themselves to be
So
abused.
let's take it from the first one. Men who allow, who carry out the abuse.
The abuse, yeah.
Why do they do that? Are there telltale signs? Are there indications from perhaps when they were younger that as they are growing up, it could be a place that they would land?
Yeah, well, we may not trace it from their childhood, but as you grow, you learn from the social environment. Specifically, men who tend to abuse their women, we say they are people who are not able to manage their anger. Inability to manage anger. So if you are the type who, like we have three types of angry people. If you are the spewer, the stuffer, and the leaker, most often people who abuse.
Explain that to us.
Are the stuffers. We have three types of angry people. The first one is a spewer. When they are angry, they just spew, like they put water in their mouth and they spew. They insult, they run on several words on you, they can beat you, they can slap you, and they can destroy you. They are the spewers. They can humiliate you, whether in public or in private. When they are angry, they do that without a weapon. But the words that come out of their mouth as they spew on you, it's more than holding a weapon and a gun to kill you. Because the words alone will emotionally affect you. The stuffers, they are angry, but they pretend they will not show it. For fear that, oh, I'm a big man, my religious teachings allow me that I should not express my anger. But they are like just volcanic mountains, you see. The magma is sitting down there. They just need a little earth tremor. Then, boom, they come out. These are the people once in a while say, this man, we don't know him to be an angry person. Why is he this? He has been stuffing all the head, trying to please people or to pretend that he's not an angry person, he's forgives, not knowing. No. So we describe them people who say, the last straw that broke the camel's back. The little thing, then, boom, they will explode and come out with all that they have stuffed inside them. And mostly, when they want to talk, you'll be doing this for a long time. You mean it's a stuffer. Such person is there with you. You see, maybe from childhood, when they are angry and they want to express, hey, keep quiet, we don't say it. You see, we were told in the African community or in the Ghanaian community that a child will never have a good case before the adult. So even if you are angry,
even if you are right, you are wrong.
Even if you are right, you are wrong. So we know that, oh, as for adults, oh, I only wait and grow and show that you can't take me like that again. So we should allow children to express their anger as and when they have frustration anywhere. Because if they don't do so, we are forcing them to become stuffers. They will harbor a lot of anger within themselves. And whoever hurt them, the large push, boom, they explode. The third type is the leakers.
What do they do?
For them, they are also like stuffers. They'll stop the anger. But they'll continue to punish you every now and then. Like you and your husband. If you want to leak the anger that he pushed into you. You say, oh, what time are you coming home today? So, oh, by 5. What would you like to eat? Can you give me some jollof? Oh, welcome. By the time he lands home, you prepare fufu for him. Will he like it? You punish him. You say, oh, I want us to visit a friend at 7 p.m. Oh, fine. So by 6 p.m., he started preparing, and he's looking at you are not doing anything. Then 7 go, let's go say, Where? But I told you, 7 p.m. we are going to visit. Oh, I forgot. You are punishing him because you are angry. It is more painful than telling him anything that will infuriate him. But you are punishing him. We do this, we leak our anger in so many direct and indirect just to punish whoever made us angry. So all these things, they go into play when you enter intimate relationship or social relationship, wherever.
Is any of this better than the other? Is it better to be a spewer, a stuffer, or a licker?
None of them is better than the other. You are angry and you are angry. So we help you, even though you are a spewer, you must spew in a way not to hurt the other person. They have a lot of lessons and philosophies that they use to guide themselves. We take them through those things and let them see the pros and cons of it and advise themselves.
So if someone knows from listening to you, based on your explanation of these 3 types of anger,
angry
that
people.
of angry people, that they are a spewer,
Yeah.
what should their calming techniques involve? If they find themselves angry and they know that they use hurtful words and printable words against someone,
Yeah.
as soon as the anger sets in, what should they do?
Number 1, you must be able to control emotions. And then you ask yourself, what were my expectations about this person that he or she did not meet, and that's why I'm angry? So there and then, let the person know your expectations. Many times that we become angry is because, number 1, we have experienced unmet expectations, unmet wants, and unmet needs. So anytime you are under the influence of anger, yours is to ask yourself, what is that I'm expecting for this person that he or she did not get? Be assertive enough and express it. Other than that, the person will continue to hurt you because the person is not meeting your expectations, is not getting you your needs, and is not supplying your wants. Not until you explain all these things. The person will not know. With all apology, for instance, if you are my wife and my desire is to have intimate relationship with you, and you give me something else, that is not what I want. I will not be happy with you. That's not what I need. I will not be happy with you. So many a time we must also study each other and know what are your needs, what are your expectations, and what are your wants, so that I will be in position to meet your expectations. If I cannot meet, I will explain it to you, the reason why I cannot meet your expectations. So I don't expect you to be angry with me once I tell you that this your expectation about me, I cannot meet it. Many of us, when we are entering a relationship, especially in marriage, we don't talk about our expectation, what I expect from the other partner. Then when we enter marriage, oh, I'm disappointed, I'm disappointed. Why? You must tell me your expectations. If I'm able to meet it, then I'll enter the relationship with you. If I cannot, I'll withdraw.
Managing expectations for the person who is on the receiving end of the anger is important.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, partners feel afraid to confront the person who is abusing them. So what avenues are available for a person who is afraid that even communicating this unmet expectation may result in a slap in the face?
Okay. So if we are aware of them, we take them through assertiveness training. We'll help you to do what we call cognitive rehearsal. This is what I want to tell my partner. If you say it this way, what will be the possible reaction of your partner? Can you say it this way? If you say it this way, what are the possible reactions? Then we take you through all this, and then you pick the one. By the time you get to the person, you say it, the person will just be smiling and say, you also, hey. It's all about communication. You say the thing in a way not to provoke the person to anger. But if you are afraid, it means you are harboring some kind of low self-esteem, and that, oh, for me, I'm already down there. If I say something, he's going to beat me or she's going to lash out at me, and so I won't say. You are becoming a stuffer. One day you will expose yourself.
So it's possible for one person's abusive relationship to turn the other person into an abuser as well?
Yes. For instance, let me tell you a story. There was a woman who has an abusive husband. Anytime the abuse takes place, the husband will go to the woman, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. So he takes the woman out for shopping. Anything she wants, she shops and he pays. Gradually it became conditional. Anytime the woman needs something, she will put up a behavior for the husband to abuse her. Then she knows that it will be followed by shopping. So you have allowed the husband to beat you. You have conditioned each other. So if I'm abusing you and you are also allowing me to continue, it means that is it. Action and reaction are always equal and opposite.
Let's get on our phone lines, and we'll be joined by Mr. Jones Opokuware, who is a criminologist, to help us understand the legal side of this matter. Good morning, sir. Mr. Opokuware, are you with us?
Good morning.
Thank you. My first question is every abuse criminal?
Yes, obviously. Okay, well, before that, let me say a very good morning to you and also to my co-panelists and also to all your viewers. Obviously, in the criminal codes that we have in the country, abuse is criminal. In fact, what many people don't know is that when we are even talking about abuse, we are not looking at only physical abuse. Okay, we also extend it to even include verbal abuse. So it is very true that within our criminal justice system and our criminal codes, abuse is some form of criminality which can result in some form of consequences for the perpetrator. So it is actually criminal.
In the court, the case is only as good as the evidence presented before it. Is there evidence required for abuse, and what would that be? For example, if it's verbal abuse, how do you provide evidence of that?
Well, some form of abuse, well, physical abuse, or maybe sexual abuse and all those things, we can have some form of, evidence, usually that is manifested in the bodies of the victim. So those ones, they are very easy to obtain. What is normally more difficult to obtain is the verbal abuse. However, with the modern state of technology, with internet, with mobile phones and all those things, we can record people, when they are engaging in all these kind of acts against someone. So it is not very difficult in recent times to get some of this evidence to show to the court. Apart from that, for the physical evidence, it is always very easy to get, because when somebody is, for instance, physically abused, if, for instance, someone is slapped or even someone is beaten, there are certain marks that show on the body of the person, and we can always take photographs of that and use that as evidence in court to prosecute the case and make sure that we are able to get justice for the victims.
Do we have emotional abuse in our law books in Ghana?
Well, like I said, when we talk about abuse, we are not only looking at the physical side, we are also looking at the verbal side. And most of the time, if you look at emotional abuse as it happens, normally it's a process, okay? And normally it starts with the verbal abuse, where someone is subjected to some kind of words that seek to act on the psychology and the psyche of the person. So when you are subjected to this kind of words and kind of treatment over the period, it creates that kind of psychological distort on the way you perceive things and the way you react to things. And that creates this kind of emotions for someone who has been subjected to that over a period of time. And that is what creates this kind of emotional abuse that we have. I may not see it probably written boldly within the laws, but once there is a room for verbal abuse, then we can extend the argument to say that, look, if someone is emotionally abused as well, then we can seek redress for the person.
And what are some of the legal options available if someone is going through any kind of abuse? Do you get a lot more people reporting such cases to you? Because we are hearing all these stories, man, butchering a partner, all these domestic violence situations. Are you seeing an increase in the numbers?
Well, we have this kind of scenario playing out a lot in this country. Unfortunately, due to some cultural and traditional beliefs and practices, also some things that as a country we've embedded within our traditions, it becomes quite difficult for people to voice out when they are subjected to abuse. Especially when we find ourselves in relationship and marriage situations. Okay, look, there are so many evidence that we have where people are undergoing verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and even physical abuse in marriages and relationships, but I find it very difficult to come out to voice them out for fear of being judged and also for fear of, probably not getting the kind of attention that they need because we don't have those institutional, processes that are well established to address some of those things. I'm very happy that these days, we have some of our psychologists coming out, and trying to offer some form of counseling services to people who have undergone all forms of abuse, whether it is verbal, emotional, or even physical. However, I mean, based on what I know and my experience working with people within this kind of area, it is very, very, very difficult for people to come out and tell people that they are going through that, especially in a marital situation, because they don't want to be judged. Probably they don't even want their marriages to collapse. They don't want the society and even their family to see them in certain light. So that is a pattern that I've seen over the period play out when it comes to abuse in the country.
Jones, hold on for me a bit. The clinical psychologist is here. So let me put that question to you, Professor Bruce.
Yeah.
Does society normalize abuse in certain situations?
Oh, yes. For instance, like he's saying, if you are my wife and I abuse you physically, and you take away, enough is enough. So you get to the police station to report me. But we will say, oh, my husband abused me, so I'm reporting that the law must deal with him. If you met a policewoman at the counter, what will she tell you? You say, oh, so you want us to go and arrest your husband so you have your free will? Even if you meet a male husband, a male police
officer,
you ask you, oh, you want us to go and arrest your husband? They will say things to rather make you feel bad that you have come to report a genuine case of physical abuse. And at the family settings, sometimes they just tell you, oh, she is normal, so don't take it. Are you hungry? I mean, the man is looking after you and all that. Why? So these are some of the ways by which society actually supports, directly or indirectly, physical abuse and any form of abuse to go on in our relationships.
But professionally, that should not be the case.
That should
For
not be
example,
the
if you were
case.
to go to the police
Yes.
to report such abuse. So I'll throw the ball back to Jones then. If someone goes to report abuse and the person does not get the needed attention from, for example, the police, what options are available for that person?
Well, these days, I'm happy we have, other institutions like psychological institutions, probably social welfare institutions that people can turn to. But my issue is that once a person is subjected to any form of abuse, whether verbal or physical, and it is reported to the police should be able to take up the matter and deal with it. I mean, even if they are not dealing with the psychological aspect of it, they should be able to deal with the criminal aspect of it. And as my co-panelist was saying, there have been several and countless situations where people report cases of abuse in their marriages to the police, and the kind of reaction they get quickly discourages them from even pursuing the case. We have cases where even very learned people, I must say, in society have experienced some form of abuse in their marriages, and once they get to the police station, the kind of reaction they meet there suggests that, look, so you want us to go and probably destroy your marriage for you, because by going into the family, the police think that the family is a private sphere where matters don't have to be settled within the public domain, and therefore it has to be treated within the home. Once we have this kind of reaction towards issues like spousal abuse and intimate partner violence and all that within the family settings, it normalizes that kind of behavior and that kind of practice. And but the time we realize it may result in something that we all do not want. So I'm thinking that apart from the victim seeking help from, for instance, the psychologists and maybe social welfare people, it is also important that the police are able to deal with the criminal aspect of the issue without looking at it as a private matter that has to be settled within the home or the family.
So, Dr. Pokuwari, on the legal front, what can someone do who's been abused? You say report to the police, and then what?
Yes, I mean, I'm thinking that that's the only place we can seek redress, I mean, the court. So if there is a need for the person to even get a lawyer to take the person through the process, it is important. Because you see, I've always said over the period, based on some discussions I've had, I mean, when it comes to spousal killings and intimate partner violence, that these kind of crimes are not events. They are actually a process, okay? So it starts from somewhere, and normally the murders are the termination point of these kind of crimes. So they start from somewhere, and once they begin building up, it is very important that any person in that kind of relationship that sees the signs and symptoms of what is yet to come quickly seek redress. So it doesn't have to be something that people just have to overlook. So if you're having this issue and probably the police, is showing some form of inertia, look, you can get yourself a lawyer, let the person help you, okay, through the process, so that you can pursue it through the criminal justice system. I'm also thinking that we must open up, okay, to family members, also to people that we trust. If even it is our pastors and all those people, we have to open up to them, let them know what we are going through, okay, especially in our relationships and in our marriages, and talk to them. And I'm sure that once we have these kind of support systems being brought in, it becomes very, very easy for us to be able to handle it. If we don't do that and we keep to ourselves, thinking that, the issue will easily and on its own go away, trust me, because it is a process and the process has been set in motion, it is likely to continue because it is an issue of power and control. Somebody wants to exert power and control over the other, and that is what creates the situation that we normally have.
Doc, thank you for making time to join our conversation this morning. Dr. Jones Opokuwari is a criminologist. We are talking spousal killings, and we'll be wrapping up very shortly. Professor Daniel Bruce is a clinical psychologist. Prof, we keep talking about counseling for people who have tendencies to abuse and for even those who have been victims. How accessible is counseling? Is it cost effective? And are they readily available?
Yes, we are readily available. We don't have Ghana Psychological Council where you can call. We have found individuals who are setting up counseling centers all over the country. We have individuals who have designed their flyers. And so we are available, and it's cost effective. We know you are already traumatized. So when you come to us, we will not expect so much financial commitment from you. But the only fear is that people think if I say I'm going to see a counselor, I think I'm a weakling. I can't solve my own problems. If I'm going to see a clinical psychologist, it means I'm going through some mental health issue. No, these things, they prevent people. Or when you say, oh, I want to see a counselor, somebody will jump in who is not even close near any type of counseling experience. Say, oh, what case do you have? Then they jump in and begin to rather give you theories of their own and compound the problem for you. So there are some people who are fronting to be problem solvers, including everybody. The moment you say, oh, I want to see a counselor, you say, oh, what problem is it?
See a counselor, definitely.
See a counselor.
Thank
we are
you.
here. We are trained to help people live a normal life.
Prof, we appreciate your time with us this morning. And if you find yourself in need of counseling, do speak to someone, approach someone. Speak to a counselor like Professor Daniel Bruce, who is a clinical psychologist, and he can direct you to where you can get help. We'll have another opportunity to delve a bit more into this issue of spousal killings, but we want to preach peace at this table and encourage you, if you're in some difficulty, to get the appropriate help. A lawyer might come in handy as well, according to the criminologist who joined us, Dr. Jones Opokuwari. This has been our chat on spousal killings. Next up, the man who calls himself the face of GH Rap is here with his pet, who is already quite the star. AY Poyo will be speaking to Valerie after the break.